Joining me today at NAREIT's Washington, D.C. office is Peter Verwer, Chief Executive of the Property Council of Australia. So Peter, let's start with a look at fundamentals. How are things in the major commercial property sectors in Australia?
Matt, the Australian REITs have reinvented themselves over the last 2 years. Gearing levels are down. There's been a refocusing on passive income streams and the domestic market. So the international exposures have been re-examined. And we'll see lower distributions, but REITs have become a defensive stock again, and they're true to label.
Recently, we've seen an influx of foreign capital into Australian REITs, particularly from Asia. Is that a trend you expect to continue?
Absolutely. And if you can raise money at cheap rates internationally, or you have a strong equity base and invest in Australia and get a 7-8% yield, indeed yields of higher than that are available for those who look close enough, that's a great deal.
Like their peers across the globe, Australian REITs focused on lowering debt and getting their balance sheets in order. How would you sum up where the balance sheets are now?
Capital management has been the huge focus, and the balance sheets by and large are very healthy, and that's why we've seen REITs outperform the general market, because people see the REITs being true to label, they see it as a classic defensive stock, and they've been rewarded by the marketplace.
And lastly, what is the biggest challenge facing Australian REITs in the second half of 2010 and looking into 2011?
The biggest challenge is that 2010 began in a very confident mode. Most of the analysts thought that the worst was behind them. Australia, of course, didn't even go into a recession, and unemployment has been quite low, and the stimulus packages were pretty effective. And so 2010 started in a buoyant mood, but from March, April this year, the uncertainty which has flowed through from Europe and the United States means that there's less confidence now than there was at the beginning of the year. So confidence will be an issue, finance will be an issue, and concerns about double dips, or worse than a double dip, that is a 70s style long period of uncertainty, is really what's clouding the market at the moment.
Peter, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For REIT.com, I'm Matt Bishar.